Imagine that you're at a zoo where you can see all those amazing wild animals up close. You're watching an alligator with your child and suddenly something goes terribly wrong. The caretaker makes the biggest mistake of her life while feeding the alligator. The next few minutes were grueling. Hearts racing, blood seeping out, screams and panic all around. This story is not only grueling, it is bone-chilling. But first, let's set the scene of the place where it all happened. The vibrant and captivating West Valley City. A place where the energy of the city collides with the majesty of Mother Nature, and the result is nothing short of mesmerizing. It's not just a place, it's a feeling, a vibe, and it pulses with life. And the people warm and interesting. But most excitingly, the city has some beautiful sights and attractions. Among them are the remarkable animal conservation centers that beckon animal enthusiasts from far and wide. These sanctuaries are home to a lot of fascinating creatures, from the majestic bald eagle to the enigmatic bobcat, all living harmoniously in their natural habitats. But hold on, because the real stars of the show here are the formidable alligators. These creatures are nothing short of prehistoric marvels, and some of them are so massive they could make a grown person's heart skip a beat. They tip the scales at over 1,000 pounds and stretch their powerful jaws to nearly 13 feet. Now, let's delve into the intriguing world of alligators. These formidable reptiles are apex predators, and they've got a taste for just about anything that moves. Fish, birds, and even the occasional unwary mammal finds themselves on the alligator's menu. But it's not just their diet that's fascinating, it's the way they hunt and kill that will send shivers down your spine. You see, when an alligator strikes, it's a lightning-fast spectacle. With stealth that defies their size, they explode out of the water and snatch their prey in powerful jaws, lined with razor-sharp teeth. But perhaps the deadliest maneuver of the alligator is the infamous death roll. The death roll is like a scene from an action movie, only it's happening right before your eyes. When an alligator has a firm grip on its prey, it spins its entire body with incredible force. This maneuver serves two purposes. It disorients the prey, making it easier to swallow, and it can even rip it apart if the prey is too large. If you're ever caught in an alligator's death roll, you're as good as dead. Not many people have been involved in a death roll and lived to tell the story. As a matter of fact, your life would flash before your eyes, and you may as well say your last prayers. This was the case for animal handler Lindsay Bull. Now make no mistake, Lindsay has been an animal handler working at the conservation center for quite some time. She has fed the animals, kept them company, tended to them, and taken care of them. It was second nature. As a matter of fact, a lot of these animals were more like her friends. Being around them was second nature to her. On the one hand, Lindsay was always careful with the animals, but on the other, the animals loved her too. They'd never do anything to harm her. However, on August 14th, 2021, one animal snapped and changed the story in an event that would not soon be forgotten. For years, visitors always trooped into the conservation center where Lindsay worked. It was always a thrill for her to educate others about the various animals they had. But on one particular day, they had an unusual but exciting request. A child's birthday was coming up, and rather than throw a party at a playground, the parents wanted their child to come to the conservation center with all their friends, so they could see the animals and learn about them. It was supposed to be an exciting thing, something that would make the children's day. But if Lindsay had known what fate had in store for her that day, she may have prepared better. Finally, the day came and all the children trooped in, excited to see all the animals. One by one, they fed their eyes and learned a great deal. It was all great until they moved on to the alligator enclosure. This is where things got a little out of hand. The gator was called Darth Gator, and he was huge. He was 8.5 feet long and weighed about 100 pounds. As the kids' birthday party group saw the huge gator, they were in pure awe. But apart from the drama and excitement going outside, Bull noticed something a bit off. Darth Gator was showing a bit of an unpredictable side. He seemed more eager, uneasy, almost like he was about to do something. But Bull couldn't show this concern. She had kids to educate and she needed to focus on her job. It'll all be fine. She educated the kids about reptiles and where they could be found in their natural habitat. But all the while, Darth Gator, who typically lurks in the depths of the water, had a different plan for the day. He'd stationed himself firmly on the platform, right by the enclosure's door. The tension in the air was palpable, like the calm before a storm. But again, Bull didn't think anything terrible would happen. Sometimes gators do that. Perhaps he was hungry, so she decided to show the kids how the alligator gets fed. As Bull, seasoned in her craft, turned the handle of the enclosure door, Darth proceeded forward. She uttered a stern command, "Back!" A command that Darth Gator, in his own reptilian way, understood. Instead of retreating, he defiantly pushed forward, defying all expectations. By this time, Bull knew something was wrong. She stretched her hand over the gator in an attempt to get him to go back into the pond. And that was when it happened. In one quick moment, Darth Gator's powerful jaws clamped onto her hand, and there was no mistaking the gravity of the situation. She could not believe what was happening. Parents outside the enclosure held their kids and ran far away with them. It was only Bull and 2 other staff members left in the enclosure. Her heart was racing. The gator's powerful teeth clasped harder on her hand. This could be a very dangerous situation, and in a few moments, it could get worse. But Bull was no novice in this perilous dance with nature. Her mind was a well-oiled machine, having rehearsed worst-case scenarios countless times. She already knew what was coming. A death roll, the one sinister move gators employ to tear their prey into digestible pieces. She knew she couldn't afford to be outside the enclosure if Darth Gator decided to execute this deadly maneuver. And so, as he tugged at her arm, Bull made a daring choice. With unwavering resolve, she gracefully climbed into the enclosure, gripping Darth Gator's jaw with all her strength. If she didn't do that, the gator would pull her arm off. Suddenly, she sensed it. It was coming. The perilous death roll. The gator was going to rip her arm off. One thing was for sure. She could not let him deliver a death roll, or it would be the end. As the first roll came, her legs wrapped around his menacing head, bracing for what might follow. It was a dance of survival, a life and death tango with a colossal predator. As the gator rolled, Bull made sure to roll along with him. She knew all his tricks, but it wasn't over yet. Her hand was still in the mouth of a deadly reptile. One of the staff members asked how he could help, and Bull told him to get on the back of the gator. They needed to stop him from rolling. The reality of the situation was that she was a small person, and he was a big gator. If she tried to fight him, she would surely die. Yet again, Bull felt another one coming, another death roll. She could not let that happen. As the gator initiated another roll, Bull's decision to roll with him seemed to be her only chance at emerging unscathed. Into the water she went, along with the gator during his roll. This was a clash of instincts and training, where one wrong move could spell disaster, and one right move was the key to survival. Wiseman, one of the staff members, realized the gator could do another death roll, and Bull was probably getting weaker, so he ran into the enclosure and jumped on the back of the reptile. The gator squirmed left and right, trying to roll again, but the weight of the man on top of him was too heavy to deliver another roll, so it paused. Still holding on to Bull's hand, it made no more movement. Bull knew one thing. She couldn't possibly try to pry her hands away from the predator's mouth. All she could do was wait it out. Surprisingly relaxed and calm, she supported her head with the other hand and waited. "Are you all right?" another staff member by the enclosure door called out. "I'm fine," she said in a shaky voice. She wasn't out of the water yet, literally. All of a sudden, the gator began squirming again, trying to deliver another death roll to break off Bull's hand, but the man on top stayed strong. Darth Gator finally realized the message they'd been trying to pass. He may have the sharpest teeth in the enclosure, but he was outnumbered and overpowered. So, he let go of Bull's hand, and as soon as that happened, another staff member from outside pulled her out. But that left the man on top of the gator. He was alone now and had no idea on how to get out. Bull wasn't going to leave him. So like a coach from the sidelines, she shouted instructions on how he could maneuver away from the gator, unharmed. First, he held on to the reptile, then began to slowly let go until he was able to run out. He was unharmed. Bull, on the other hand, was bleeding profusely and had to be rushed to the hospital for medical assistance. Thankfully, she lived to tell the tale. But it could have been a lot worse. If you enjoyed this story, this next one would leave you biting your nails.